Good morning, ladies. Welcome to our Wednesday Zoom workout. I hope you guys got some sleep last night. It's been a wild ride. Anyway, hope you enjoy the workout today. Warm up with some arms out to the side, shoulder warm up. We're going to just tip, pretend as if you have a cup of wine or water, and you're going to just tip it forward, letting that water or beverage out. So great shoulder warm up. Just like you're tipping liquid out of a cup.
The next workout will begin in 60 seconds.
There she is.
Please proceed to the station.
Good. Tipping that liquid out. Nice. Make sure your shoulders are down. Make sure your knees are soft. Think about that core engagement. Head and neck nice and relaxed. All right, we're going to go to a hip hinge. We're going to clasp the hands behind the hips. So I like to keep that chest open, shoulders are down, leaning forward with a nice flat back, making sure those knees are soft, coming up and squeezing those glutes. All right, from the side, notice I'm not rounding here. I'm leading with my chest, shoulders down, keeping those arms back to keep the chest open. You should feel a nice hamstring stretch right here. So notice the knees are soft. I'm not locked out, okay? Coming up and you're squeezing those glutes. And getting into a breathing rhythm here. Nice flat back.
Begin set one.
Nice. Good. Shoulders stay down, chest is open, feeling that nice hamstring stretch, and then making sure that you are squeezing those glutes up top. Great. Back nice and flat. Hold time. Let's do two more. Last one. Great. All right, let's do some side bends. I like to hold my hand here just to remind myself to engage my core as I'm reaching through the side. Notice my hips aren't going out to the side.
Stop.
My hips stay planted over my knees and feet. You're just going to reach to the side. Small pulses here. And switching sides. Abs engaged. Reaching should be a nice stretch to the side. Remember, with any stretch.
Begin set two.
Okay to go to slight discomfort so you feel a good stretch. You never want to go to pain on any stretch, okay? So if you're feeling, you get to a point where it's kind of hurting, rein it in, okay? Good. Just want to feel a good stretch inside, keeping the abs engaged. Excellent. All right, feet are wide, feet are parallel. We're going to open up those hips, stretch out those inner thighs, pushing the hips back, reaching across the body. Mindful of that knee not going past the foot. And there's a tendency here for people to drop their chest. I want you to try and keep that chest up.
Stop.
Flexibility allowing. Good. And you should feel a nice stretch in the inner thigh as you open up those hips. Again, remember the knee never goes past the foot. So you're really pushing the hips back on this to stretch out those hips, open up those inner thighs.
Begin set three.
And we'll do a couple of doubles here or pulses. Keeping that chest up if you can. Modifying as needed if you've got a knee that doesn't like that lateral motion. Don't go quite so far, but push those hips back, okay? Nice. A few more here. Again, should feel like a good stretch through the inner thigh, opening up the hips. Excellent. All right, we're going to go to a squat jack. On the squat, hips are going back, knees stay still. Arms out to the side. Excuse me, arms together, and then arms out to the side as you lift that leg. So like a jumping jack without the jump, hips back, arms overhead. If squatting's an issue, just do a soft knee bend, lifting that leg to the side.
Begin set four.
If you can reach all the way overhead, I want you to go for that full range. And if you need to limit the range of motion for a shoulder, perfectly fine. We can always do that. But you should be feeling that heart rate up now. Warming up. I am. It's a chilly morning out there. And you're breathing. Excellent. We're going to start with some push-ups. I am going to use the bar over here because I've got a wrist thing. I wanted to use the bench, but my wrist is a little sensitive today. So I'm going to use the bar. You can use a kitchen counter, kitchen island.
Stop exercise and switch to the next station.
Bench. Whatever works for you. You can do it on the ground if you want, on your knees, or some of you may be able to do a full push-up on your feet. That's fine too. We're going to start with our hands outside of the shoulders just a little bit, or maybe shoulder width apart. Sorry, you have to look at my backside for this.
Set 1.
All right, here we go. Wide grip here, leading with the chest, plank position. And I want you to try and keep a good clip here for the first set, okay? With good form. So, abs are tight, glutes are tight. I'm on the balls of my feet. Determining level of difficulty by where your feet are. Closer makes it easier, further back makes it harder. And you can also stay high if you have a shoulder issue, not going too low. If you're able to go chest all the way to
stop exercise.
Whatever you're pushing on, that's what I want you to do. Alternatively, you could also do a wall with this. This were my wall. That would be a less stressful push-up or an easier way to modify it, okay? All right.
Begin set
number
2.
2, same thing, keeping that plank position, hands outside the shoulders, going for reps with great form. Nice. So you're in that plank, your glutes are tight, your abs are tight, chest is leading the way, head and neck following, always following, never leading that head and neck. And you are working chest and triceps here in case you couldn't feel it. You should be feeling it. As you keep the abs and glutes nice and engaged. Bonus plank here, ladies. Woo! Always love that bonus plank.
Exercise.
And there's our break. All right, set number 3. We're going to stay wide with the hands and we're going to slow it down. We're going to do a super slow lowering, super slow coming up. So we get in maybe 3 to 4 reps. Slow and controlled.
Begin set 3.
Here we go. Slowly coming down. So working the muscles in a different way. Holding at the bottom. And then slowly coming up. As you exhale. Okay, here we go. Slowly down. Plank position, chest leading the way. Hold. Slowly coming up. Ooh, this where it gets hard. Exhaling as you push up. May have time for one more.
Stop.
Slow.
Exercise.
Okay, that's it. Shaking it out. Our final set of push-ups, I want you to do a triceps push-up, elbows in, hands close by, and we're going to go for reps on that, okay? Shoulders stay down the whole time, all right? Feet are going to probably need to come in a little bit for this because it's more
Begin
challenging.
set 4.
Smaller muscle group, but we just got one set, so let's pump it out. Shoulders are down, elbows in, working the triceps, still keeping that perfect plank. Woo! All right, ladies, hopefully your arms see a little break after this. At least your triceps should. Chest working, head and neck following, breathing, exhale. Woo! Almost there. Keep it up, keep going. Don't quit on me. Exhale.
Stop exercise and switch to the next station.
Well done, shaking those arms out. All right, we're gonna go to a wall sit next. I'm gonna grab some weights here. For those of you who'd like to grab some weights, we'll add an arm curl here on the wall sit. I'm going to use this post here. If a wall sit does not work for you, feel free to sit in a chair and do some leg lifts, either with a bent knee or with a straight leg, okay? And you can still do the arm curls in the chair as well. All right, abs nice and tight here. Notice how my head is not here. Tucking the chin back. Chest stays open, shoulders down. I'm going to start with just an isometric hold with these weights. Notice how my arm is at a 90-degree angle. I'm engaging my abs so that my back is not into a big arch here, and I'm using my core here while I'm working the quads.
Stop exercise.
Okay, taking a break. Shake it out. Set number 2, we're going to start moving those arms. I'm going to hold my right arm up. Isometric hold, left arm is going to be dynamically working. All right, first we're establishing that wall
Begin
set.
set 2.
Weight should be in your heels mostly here, okay? Keep the pressure off the knees. My right arm is fixed. The weight is right in front of my elbow. My upper arms are not moving. You can see my left arm dynamically working, hammer curl, slowly lowering with control. Core stays nice and tight. Head and neck in that neutral position, looking straight ahead.
Stop exercise.
Great. Shaking it out. We're going to reverse left arm now, isometrically holding that arm curl, right arm dynamically working. Again, first you're getting into that position, thinking about the weight in the heels.
Begin
Going
set
down
3.
as low as you can. Knees allowing. So if you've got a knee issue and it feels better up here, no problem. We're looking for that quad activation. So now my left arm is isometrically holding, my right arm moving, both working the biceps in different ways. Quads should be feeling it, ladies. Abs nice and tight. Make sure you're breathing. Oh yeah.
Stop exercise.
Woo! Final set, ladies. We're going to stay down and we're going to do simultaneously alternating those arms. If you're feeling good and you want to up the ante a little bit here, I'm going to start a little early. Invite you to join me if you like. All right, here we go. Abs nice and tight. And you can do any version of the arm curls that works for you. If this is too much, you can dial it back. This is going to be a little more aerobic. Depending on your weights, keeping your abs engaged. Elbows still not moving from the side, so keeping the biceps doing the work in the arms. Woo! Almost there, ladies. Nice. How are those quads feeling? You shaking the leg? I'm starting to feel it big time. Woo!
Stop exercise and
2,
switch to the next
1.
station.
Well done. All right, we're going to do an ab combination ab balance exercise. I have done this one before. Some of you may have done it with me. You're going to start with one leg back, arms in front. It's a rotation of the torso motion where you're
Begin
here
set 1.
and you're coming outside the hip. All right, from the side you're here, coming outside the hip, abs nice and engaged. Now, if your shoulders are good and you're able to go all the way here, go for it. Okay, and if you're finding that that's not challenging your balance, you're going to lift that leg through, tap back, leg through. From the front, tap back, leg through, drive through. So you have the option of keeping your leg on the ground, or if you need more of a challenge balance-wise, driving through, abs nice and tight on that rotation of the torso. We're going to switch sides. Again, for the shoulders, if your shoulders are good and you're able to go all the way overhead, awesome. If you need to come here, no problem. You can still do that chopping motion. I'm going to go overhead. Again, you can keep that leg down if you need to, or modify the shoulders. But if your shoulders are good, you can get right over the shoulders. A little more cardio, a little more abs. Nice. So rotational movement, functional movement, like putting on a seatbelt. Those of you who play tennis or golf, you are rotating that torso, so it's important to be able to engage that core on that rotation. If you still want more here, you may add weight to this equation. So I'm going to add a weight. Your weight can be chest level, going across the body, or it can be up.
Begin set 3.
My right leg is back. Driving through. Again, you can stay on the ground with that foot. All kinds of ways to modify this. If you're driving through, knee stays right in front of the hip. Abs nice and tight. So you're going across the body, either from left shoulder to right hip, if you're here, okay? Keeping it mellow for the shoulder, or overhead to the outside of that hip. Weight's not required, it's just a way to make it harder.
Stop exercise.
Switching sides, all right? This time my left leg is back. So balance, core, little cardio here if you've got that leg driving through. I'm going to start with my arms overhead, and I'm driving outside my left hip. Try not to cross that knee over. It wants to cross over, but I want you to rotate from the abs on this. Great. Does not have to be a big rotation. You're just reaching across the body. Again, Rotational movement, functional. Functional movement. Excellent. Nice, ladies, almost there.
Stop exercise and switch to the next station.
Okay, we are going to go to the bench and do a bent over row. So you can do this on a sofa, on a bench. You can also do this standing if it's better for you. I'm going to use my handy dandy kettlebell here.
Begin set 1.
My shoulder is over my wrist. Back stays nice and flat. Shoulders are square as I pull right into that rib cage. Now the tendency here is to drop the shoulder. Don't let it drop. Keep those shoulders square and that back nice and flat. Head and neck in that neutral position as you're working upper back, postural muscles, shoulders, keeping the core engaged.
Stop exercise.
Keeping that head and neck neutral with the spine. So a lot of people tend to do this. I want you to keep that head and neck in a nice neutral position with the spine. We're going to stay on the same side. Should you have a heavy weight and you want to switch sides, please feel free to do so.
Begin set 2.
I'm thinking most of you probably don't have really heavy weights at home. It's just a strong muscle group. So if you can, you're going to stay on that same side. And pulling right in that rib cage as you exhale, slowly lower. Great. Nice. Slowly lower. Head and neck neutral, just looking down. Nice. Keeping the core engaged.
Stop exercise.
Excellent. And again, if you're doing the standing version, you're kind of at a diagonal. I like to put the opposite leg forward as I pull right into my rib cage here like this at a diagonal, okay? Switching sides.
Begin set 3.
Back nice and flat, shoulder over the wrist, pulling right into that rib cage, slowly lowering. Head and neck staying nice and neutral. Again, upper back at work here. Shoulders at work. Keeping that elbow in as you pull into that rib cage. So you're driving that elbow towards the ceiling. Modifying range of motion if you need to. For most shoulders, this is
Stop
fine.
exercise.
If you have a sensitive shoulder and you want to stop a little bit earlier, not go quite so high. But for most people, this motion is a benign motion for the shoulder. As long as you're keeping that arm in, it doesn't end up out here. Okay, you're pulling right in, keeping that shoulder safe. Okay.
Begin set
Last
4.
set here. Shoulders square, back nice and flat. Slowly lowering. Lowering with control. Do not let gravity bring it down. You control that lowering. Good. That's going to make the muscle work harder. Muscles work harder. Upper back, shoulders. A little bit of biceps working here. Slowly lowering. Great, ladies. Slowly lowering.
Stop exercise and switch to the next station.
All right. Let me check my cheat sheet here. We're going to put our bands on next, I think. So band is optional, ladies. We're going to do some hip and glute work. If the band does not work for you, do not worry. You can still work your hip and glutes sufficiently without the band. I'm going to use the band.
Set 1.
I'm going to put it around my ankles. All right, you're going to be lying on your side, legs straight, ankles, hips, and shoulders all lined up. You're going to raise that top leg, band or no band. Dorsiflex your foot, reaching with your heel and do some circles forward with that leg. Now again, you do not need a band here. If it's more comfortable for you to bend that bottom leg and you don't have a band on, it's a little hard to do the band on, feel free to do that if you feel like you need more back support. But you are reaching through the heel, nice and long.
Stop exercise.
As you circle, small circle forward with that leg. Hip and glute. Woo! Take a break. All right, we're going to stay on the same side, raising that leg, tension the band if you've got it. Reaching through the heel. This time we're going back. Circle back. All right, here we go. Reaching through the
Begin
heel.
set 2.
Small circle back. Now you can be here if you like, but I want to save the arms for our planks next. So ideally here, okay? Relaxing your head and neck. Woo, ladies, you feeling this? Woo, lit up right here. Right here, hip and glute. Oh yeah. Reaching through that heel, nice and long. Abs engaged, not rolling back with your hips. Head and neck out of the equation, not invited to the party. Woo! Almost there.
Stop exercise.
Well done. Oh, all right, switching sides. Same thing, making sure you're lined up. Ankles, hips, and shoulders all lined up. In a nice straight line. You're reaching through your heels, your abs are engaged.
Begin set 3.
Small circle forward. Band, no band. Bottom leg can be bent. You can even just lift and come down if you're finding it too much to be too much. Keeping that leg up. Come down and take a break. All right? And then go right back to it. Ideally, timing it so that by the end of the set, you are needing that break. Okay? That's how you gauge it. If you're not needing a break, you can work probably a little bit harder here. Okay? Woo!
Stop exercise.
I need a break. All right. Second set, leg up, rotating backward. And you can start any time. If you're feeling like, oh, this isn't that hard, go ahead and get started. I'm going to wait for Missy here to tell us. Lifting that leg up, reaching through that heel.
Begin set 4.
Small circle backward. Remember the hips stay stacked here. Ah, good work, ladies. Woo! Hip and glute should be on fuego, or as we say in Italian, fuoco. You know what that means. It is lit up and it is ready for break. If you're keeping the tension in that band, reaching through that heel. Oh, nice work, ladies. Almost there. Woo! Ah, where is she? Let's go. We need a break. I need a break.
Stop exercise and switch to the next station.
Oh, it always gets me. Well done. Okay, we're going to lose the band. And we're going to go to some bridges. And if you've got something to squeeze, I've got a ball here. It's a little big, but it'll work. You can squeeze a pillow or your dog stuffed animal or whatever you have.
Begin set 1.
All right, so feet close together, head and neck relaxed, shoulders are relaxed. You're going to squeeze those glutes as you tuck that tailbone, come up. Now, ideally, at this point, you've got shoulders, hips, and knees all lined up. You are squeezing that object, whatever it may be, okay? Abs are engaged, slowly coming down. Again, squeeze the glutes, tuck the tailbone, come up. Squeezing that object, getting those inner thighs involved. Glutes, abs, everything's super tight. We've got hammies working, we've got glutes working, slowly coming down.
Stop exercise.
Now let's talk about the arms. If you're somebody who has good balance or you want more core work, arms can go here. Okay, that makes it a little bit less stable, so your core has to work a little bit harder to stabilize your body. Optional. If you do this, I want the shoulders to stay down.
Begin
okay?
set 2.
Next set coming up. Right? Continue with the up and down. Or if you want to make it a little more challenging, you can just stay up and pulse that ball, okay? Now, arms don't have to be up. They can be here, or if you need a little bit more stability, they can be here. But I do not want anybody feeling this in the head or neck, okay? So I want the head and neck to be out of the equation, to be relaxed. It's all about lower body and core here. Glutes, hammies, inner thighs, and abs, okay? All lit up.
Stop
Again, take it
exercise.
to a level that's challenging for you. Now, for those of you who want to continue with the two-legged bridges, please do so. I'm going to give you the option to add a single leg. And what that's going to look like today, this is if your back is good and you want more of a challenge.
Begin
okay?
set
We're going to
3.
do the same, starting out, squeezing, tucking the tailbone. Same line up here. I'm going to extend one leg, okay? And notice this leg stays parallel to the other leg, okay? Now, if you still want more, you can do some pulsing here, okay? This may be enough just to hold it here because you'll start to feel that left leg or that bent leg, hammy and glute really working. Abs still stay engaged. Or, again, you can add a little pulse here if you want to up the ante. Arms could be here, arms could be here. That's a little bit extreme. Oh yeah,
Stop
starting to cramp up.
exercise.
Woo! Relax. If you're doing the two-legged, you want to do a wider position with the feet. Maybe lose the ball, pulsing that way. You can vary it that way. Or simply keeping the ball for 4 sets. It's a great workout for those inner thighs. All right,
Begin
set
set 4.
I'm going to this time lift my left leg up. If you're doing single leg, you want to double check that your hips are in even position. Nice and tight here. And again, option for that pulsing or simply holding here. As long as those hips are even, and the right hammy and right glute should really be talking to you now, ladies, if you're doing that single leg. If you're doing double leg, you should be feeling glutes, hammies, inner thighs, abs are tight, all lit up. We're breathing. Woo!
Stop exercise and switch to the next station.
1. Excellent. Bringing those knees in. And the best way I found to rest the hammies is just to rest the legs out like this. That way the hamstrings are not activated at all. They're quiet. Okay, we're going to do some side planks next. For those of you who can do side planks, feel free to do a front plank if a side plank does not work. Or you can do the modified side plank, which looks like this. Again, you want to make sure you're lined up here. Knees, hips, shoulders, elbow. All in a straight line, head and neck in that neutral position. You can do the top leg here if you'd like. Main thing is, again, to stay nice and lined up. Abs engaged, glutes engaged. More advanced version would be feet stacked. Feet dorsiflex, which means toes toward the chest. Get those quads firing, okay? I like to put the arm up, optional. Great,
Stop
keeping the glutes
exercise.
tight and the abs tight, whatever plank you're doing. Modified side, if you're doing front plank, pulling that navel in, squeezing the glutes. Remember, for the front plank, you can be on a bench if that works well for you. If you need to do a high plank, you can do that too on a counter.
Begin set
Or on a
2.
bench or on a chair. Here's my modification. Abs and glutes super tight. Everything lined up. Knees, hips, shoulders, head. Option to extend that top leg. Option to extend both legs. And come up into a advanced side plank. Still keeping everything nice and lined up. Abs pulled in, squeezing the glutes. Arm up again is optional. It's just a nice way to open this up. Whenever I can open up that chest, I like to do that. Woo! Nice, ladies.
Stop exercise.
Great work. All right, and if you're doing a front plank, I think I got a little dirt on this map. If you're doing a front plank and you want to add a little, maybe a little knee drop or a little sawing forward or back variation, feel free to do that. Since I've got this ball
Begin
here,
set 3.
I'm going to grab this for my side plank. Now, if you've got a little weight, you can hold a little weight up here. You can do a little loop-to-loop underneath, or threading the needle, some people call it. Again, more advanced. You can also do this with the modified side plank. Okay, that's if your back is good. You want more of a challenge. For most of you, could be just playing the way it is, but I want those glutes and abs nice and tight, ladies. Woo! Head and neck in that neutral position.
Stop exercise.
This is a little too big to thread the needles. I'm going to grab my little weight here, okay? And you can also just hold the weight up too, right? You don't want to thread the needle if that's too much. All right, ladies, this is our last set, so I'm going to get started early. Abs and glutes
Begin
nice and
set
tight.
4.
Feet dorsiflex. If you're doing the front plank, be mindful that head and neck not falling forward. So making sure that head and neck stays even with your spine. And you're breathing, keeping everything nice and tight, nice and buttoned up. Well done, ladies. Way to take care of yourselves today. Woo! Some of you may have had a long night. I know I didn't sleep much. So it's great you're here. Taking care of business, taking care of what's important, and that's your health and your well-being.
Stop exercise.
Woo!
Your training is now complete.
Nice
Please
work,
wipe down the
ladies.
feet and continue to the further end.
Fantastic. All right, I'm going to finish up with a little cat-cow. If you'd like to join me in a little back stretch. Most of you know this stretch. You can do it on your hands. If you have sensitive wrists, feel free to go on the knuckles. The important thing is that you're in that tabletop position, shoulders down, knees underneath the hips. As you inhale, you're going to raise that chest up. My shoulders are staying away from my ears. Raise the lower back up or the hips up. And as you exhale, tucking the tailbone, dropping the head and neck, rounding that back, pulling that navel in, okay? I like to do a 5-second hold in each direction. And always know that if there's one extreme, whether it's this extension or this flexion that doesn't feel good on your back, go from neutral to the position that does feel good. So if it feels good for you to round, go from rounding to neutral. If the extension feels good, go from that extension to neutral, okay? You don't have to do both extremes. But it's a great way to release the back. There's your inhale, and here's your exhale. Great, we're gonna come up, shake those arms out. I'm gonna do one last chest opener, shoulders down. Great way to just stand, keeping the hands back here, clasping the hands if you want to gently. A great way to keep those shoulders back, keep that posture nice and erect, prevent that rounding. Knees are soft here, shaking out those arms. We're gonna take a deep breath in as you cross those arms in front. As you exhale, reaching up nice and tall to the ceiling, abs engaged. And again, inhale here, arms in front. Exhale, nice and tall to the ceiling. One more deep breath in, ladies. And exhale. Great job, ladies. Thanks so much for joining me. Have a wonderful day. Stay safe.
Happy birthday,